I'd like to call the meeting of the County Board to order for December. Would you all please rise for the pledge to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for being here this morning. Mr. Clerk, would you call the roll?
Good morning. Farnham.
I'm here.
Lorraine. Lorenzen.
Here.
Luddington. Here. Patrick.
Here.
Bruner.
Here.
Shiddick.
Here.
Voigt.
Present. Next order of business is the minutes from November 9th, 2016 and November 30th, 2016. Those are regular meetings. Assume you've had a chance to look at those. Is there a motion to approve those as submitted by the clerk?
So moved.
Derek moves. Bruner seconds. Any discussion? Assuming you're ready to vote, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Does carry. Thank you. Next, we have claims of the county. You've had those for a few days. Are there any questions or discussions on the claims against the county? Hearing none, I assume you're ready for a motion. Somebody want to make that motion?
So moved.
Derek moves. Andy seconds. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Does carry. Thank you. County Board member claims. You have those within your documents also, so is there any questions? Otherwise, I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Dan moves.
Second.
Derek seconds. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Does carry. Now we come to the point of the meeting where we ask for public comment. Those who wish to address the board, there's a rostrum up there, and we allow 5 minutes of comment.
Turn the light back on, Donald. Yeah, the camera's still on.
We'll proceed. I can see okay.
It's fine.
It's fun.
Morning, everybody. It's kind of cold out this morning. Reminds me when I was growing up in the snow belt. You always tell them it's cold out when you walk on the snow, it crunches. Hey, my name is Robert Bogue, a citizen of the United States of America. I veteran of the United States Army and a resident of Edgar County. I had a couple of things I would want to bring to your attention this morning. First, I think I should thank Jeff Voigt for what he did after Monday's meeting, after the meeting was adjourned. And that was to remind the board members that if you have a majority of a quorum, you have a meeting. And since the meeting had been adjourned, that's something you probably don't want to do. The other couple things here are pertain to spending. I was thinking about how hard it is for the farmers in our community to earn an income and pay taxes, get out in the cold, all kinds of weather, all kinds of cantankerous animals. And I also thought about the lady that served my coffee this morning, that she had to get up early and she's paying taxes too. What I'm leading up to is there are a lot of people here in our community that are paying taxes, and that's the money that you folks here make decisions on spending. It would be great if we could show a lot of respect to those taxpayers by spending our money wisely and carefully, and not for anything that we want, but just for things that we need to have. Okay, so Monday I heard some comments like, if we don't spend it, and we're talking about money here, somebody else will. How do you think that plays with a taxpayer that's trying to get up early and feed cattle or go to Burger King and serve people? It's like tax money is free. It isn't. People work really hard for that money. So it's important, again, to spend it wisely. So you make decisions on what needs and what are wants. I've been saying for a long time now that the airport needs fuel access 24/7. Just dawned on me, maybe I was wrong. Because I look back, and at any time the airport could have said, we need a project for $30,000. Have Hanson Engineering do it, run that through the process, get that approved, and our segment of that will be 2%. 2% is less than $1,000. I'm pretty sure that the airport can find $1,000 in their budget. And their budget is the $80,000 that this community already pays and gives the airport. So what would I would expect? A couple of things. I would expect the airport to return to the county all the income they earn. And that money to go in the general fund, and that money applied to debt. Not to new expansion projects, nothing exorbitant like a $1.3 million project. That is debt. I'd like to see that money applied to paying down the bills. I went over last Monday some of the things that are on the horizon here for the county, and I don't want to see another tax increase. So I guess the big deal here is, if you're paying 2% of a $30,000 project, you're going to be looking at about $700. That's an easy deal. And under these hard economic times, when everybody is struggling, it would be a wise decision to just table the funding for the airport projects, the 1.3 million or whatever, and get down to something that is realistic and something we can all afford. How am I doing with time, Mr. Boyd?
You have about 1.5 to 2 minutes,
I
roughly.
hate to waste time.
You could do a little song and dance or something.
Or you can stop early.
Or you could just
I don't-
let us move
So I
on.
should set an example here. I really don't need the minute and a half. I'm not gonna take up any more time. My message to you is don't waste taxpayer money. Needs versus wants. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. Anybody else have a comment or?
Are you pulling 19 off the,
19 is being tabled.
okay, I don't have any comments.
Now you spoiled it for everybody.
Other than thanks.
Don't wanna waste your time, huh?
I'm really disappointed, John.
Anything else to come before the public, or public comments? Okay, hearing none, thank you. Next item is set dates, times, and locations for our county board meetings for the year 2017. And you have that on top of your pile, I believe. Augie, you have any comments since you set this up?
No? Any questions?
You notice there's 2 board meetings in November, and that is to accommodate the presentation of the budget and levy and the setting out for public display, which we're required to do, and then the final passage on the 29th of November, okay? So that's not a misprint or anything else, that's something that we have to do. Well, hearing none, no comments, I entertain a motion to accept those dates, times, and locations for the county board meeting.
So moved.
Derek moves, Andy seconds. Further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay? That does carry. Now, immediately behind that is the study session schedule for 17. I assume that Augie, you and Aaron have confabbed on that, and that works out?
That is correct. Aaron and I have worked out the schedule. He has a meeting, 9 o'clock, on the Monday before our board meeting. Then at 9:30 are our study sessions. And then, of course, we have a second one in the month where the highway does not meet. So, and there are a couple dates there where we will meet on a Tuesday because the Monday is an observed holiday by the state of Illinois and or the federal government.
I have a question of you both. December 26th, we have a study session. And that will be prior to the, will that have, I'm sorry, November 27th. Will that be a just study session, or will that be a combo?
That would be the Monday before our
Regular?
29th board meeting.
So is that a 9 o'clock meeting or a 9:30 meeting?
Study sessions are all at 9:30.
Okay. Aaron, do we have anything, we don't have anything from you that day, like
You do.
we, okay?
I don't have his schedule, so I
Okay,
can't.
so you're gonna give us a schedule of yours?
Yeah.
All right, all right.
He gave me a draft to work off of, but I didn't make copies for them because it was a draft.
Yeah, you'll be approving those dates today as well.
We don't have it,
No.
Okay.
okay?
So
That's why I'm asking, because we got confused.
Any study session, any activity before a board meeting, when there's 2 a month, then we're also going to have the road and bridge meeting scheduled.
So there'll be
as
2
well.
road and bridges.
That month as well.
Okay, but you're gonna get us a schedule that we can,
Through
okay.
the clerk, yes. After today, I thought we'd send it and approve, but the draft was to be approved, yeah.
We don't have to.
Yeah, we don't have to approve it,
It's a committee meeting, so we wouldn't have to.
but we have
just
to
approve
post it and
But we'll
everything
post
else.
it
Right,
annually. So we're good.
all right.
It's through
I
the
just
clerk. I'll
wanna
send the
avoid
clerk out
the
this morning.
issues that we had this year,
We're
okay?
good.
Do I have a motion?
Point
Yes,
of
ma'am.
clarification.
Yes, sir.
So essentially, the committee meeting is the first meeting of each month, except for November, there will be a 9 a.m. committee meeting at both meetings.
I assume so.
Okay,
And you'll get a sheet on that, John,
correct, right.
okay? Did you
Making sure I
wish,
was on the right page.
John, do you wish to make a motion to
I'll
approve
motion.
this? All right, John? Second? Dan seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay? Okay, it's approved. And you also have, the third thing there is you have a list of holidays, which is set up by the Supreme Court and passed down by our judges, okay?
And we've already approved those.
Right.
So,
But it's all together, so you have a package, okay? And then to that package, Aaron will give you a road and bridge MFT schedule, okay? Next item is to approve Robert's Rules of Order as guidelines for conducting our meetings. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Derek moves, second.
Second.
John seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Next item, we have a list of the committee assignments. I'd like to acknowledge those assignments based on talking to some of you or all of you. And these will what you'll be operating under on 2017 fiscal year. Any questions? Okay. Next item is a resolution to comply with Local Government Travel Expense Act. We talked about that at the meeting. It is now required that we adopt a resolution which sets forth how we're going to reimburse everybody when they travel for the county and have expenses that are not social or deemed entertainment expenses. We will not pay those. But this does set up a criteria on which we will pay travel expenses. I think you've all had a chance to look at that. Augie, do you have any comments?
The rates will not exceed the central management service as put out by the state. So we're following the guidelines of the law.
Questions? Okay. Could I have a motion to approve this resolution, please?
So moved.
Derek moves. Do we have a second? Andy seconds. Further questions? Assume you're ready to vote. Augie, would you call the roll, please?
Farnham,
Yes.
Lorenzen,
Yes.
Luddington,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Bruner,
Yes.
and Chittick.
Yes.
Thank you, gentlemen. It does carry. Next, we have the sheriff's semi-annual report. Mr. Sheriff, what do you got? I know we all have a copy of it. Do you have any comments or anything that you would like to say about it?
On the back of, there is you notice, there's notes in there that there's a couple of weeks of it missing due to computer error, but we lost everything. That's noted in there, so.
Okay. All right. Questions of the sheriff, please? I assume you're ready to approve his annual report, or accept it on file? How's that? Accept it on file? We're not actually approving it, it's just that we've received it as appropriate. So is there a motion to receive and put on file this report?
So moved.
Dan moves,
Second.
Derek seconds. Do you want a roll call, or do we just vote? Just vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. It does carry, thank you. And the next one we have is the county clerk's report. And Augie, do you have anything you would like to say about your report, sir?
If you recall, a year ago, we had a significant spike in recording fees because of the Forsyth land sale reorganization. So now you're seeing numbers that are more in line with what's normal. So I have there basically the full year, December 1st, 15 fiscal year through November 30th of last year. Nothing really stands out to me in comparing them back over the years, so I would entertain any questions. We're doing our very best to try to hold expenses down, and you know, our fees are set by our fee study.
Hearing no questions, I assume you were ready to accept and put on file the county clerk's report. Need a motion, please, gentlemen?
I'll make that motion.
All right. Carl moves.
Second.
Andy seconds, please. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Does carry. Thank you, gentlemen. Next, our treasurer is asking a resolution authorizing issuance of anticipation warrants for the upcoming year not to exceed $500,000. We discussed this on Monday morning, but if there are any questions or any clarifications that the treasurers would like to make, please, gentlemen.
This is more of a housekeeping thing. We do it every year. We have not had to partake of it for the past 3 years. That does not mean we won't have to this year. I'm just saying it's just something we do get established so that we don't have to scramble if the need comes or we need some cash flow.
Okay.
Question came up in the study session about this credit line. Is that who establishes the 500,000? Is that us? Is that you? Is that
That was
banks?
something that started here a few years ago. I'll be honest, I think it was just a common sense, 500,000 just seemed a good ballpark of what we could actually anticipate up to 85% of it, but there's no need to be asking for
85% of what?
of what we levied for whatever fund we're going to do tax anticipation for. So we always do it for the general fund. Since the general fund can actually cover expenses for any other levied fund, we just do it for the general fund. And since we've levied, I think 870,000 this
Be
year.
663.
Yeah, we just 500,000 is just an easy number. How's that?
That works for me.
Okay.
So I guess just to tie into 16 a bit, any concerns or any reason why we would make that more to cover us if we decide to cover our total liabilities in IMRF? Are we in good shape as far as
Well,
the delta goes?
I understand your concern because, there's always that what if something happens. I don't know that we can, for one thing, since we've already got it in our budget that we would not. Chairman, I don't know, is that?
Well, we can. We actually anticipated, I think, the first year or two without actually having it in the budget. But we wanted to put it in the budget so everybody understood what the effect or non-effect it was if we used it. I'd like to remind or impart the information that even during the tough times, we never had to fully use it, and even when the state wasn't paying us certain funds, we didn't have to use it. So I don't know whether that helps you. We could always come back and change or have a new resolution for 163,000. Okay?
And how would that work? So we would basically, because we discussed about, you know, even if we pay that amount back, 500,000, we can't go back on that same line of credit. So we would basically opening a new line of credit through the same institution would not be an issue because we'd still.
Assuming the institution would give us their blessing, which I don't know why they wouldn't, you know. These are always, and it says in the resolution that we always have a requirement to pay this back by November 30th, the end of our fiscal year, because we don't need to be starting our next fiscal year in the hole.
Right.
And we've always been able to do it. As a matter of fact, at times when we did have to use this financing, when I would do the first distribution of tax dollars, like in July, I pay it back right then. First of all, to save interest. Second of all, that's the whole point of doing it. We're anticipating getting some tax money coming in, so.
I think there's a comfort level, and quite frankly, if Don's comfortable, I don't see tying it back into 16. I don't see any issues. I think even during the worst times, what did we hit it for, 300? Was that max?
I think so.
That was like 4 or 5 years ago. I
I
think
didn't
that's,
research that.
we've never gone to max anyway, so.
And our cash flow will dictate if we even have to use this, meaning, like I said earlier, and you and I discussed this, we can use any general fund money to cover levy funds that are depleted until we get tax dollars coming in. We just can't do it the other way around. We can't use levy funds to help the general fund. We can only hope that our cash flow continues to maintain a certain level. Having said that, we're always at the mercy of the state. So who knows if they pull one of their stunts again and start delaying our timely payments, then that would be a factor.
Derek,
I'm good.
do I have a motion to approve this resolution, please?
So moved.
Derek moves.
Second.
Carl seconds. Mr. Clerk, would you call the roll?
Farnum,
Yes.
Lorenzen,
Yes.
Luddington,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Brunner,
Yes.
and Chick.
Yes.
It does carry. Thank you, gentlemen. Next is the resolution of payment of $279,652.45 to IMRF for underfunded liabilities, and that would be for SLEP, and what's the other fund? Echo. That would theoretically wipe out any underfunding and save us roughly 7+%. We would net out if we borrow what, it's 1.2, 1.3, so we'd still have a savings of like 5.8%, somewhere around that, that we'd be saving our taxpayers and our funds.
Yeah, that's 280,000 basically would generate about a $20,000 interest hit this January 1.
From IMRF.
Yeah.
And instead,
Instead, we'll roll the dice. I hate to use that term, but we'll just see how our cash flow goes, and if we have to borrow, it will be at a very conservative interest rate compared to the 7.5% that the default is for IMRF.
and remember, that would be an annual. They're gonna charge us for the full year.
Yeah,
If we only have to borrow for a half a year, at a very modest amount, it'd be even more of a savings than what I've suggested. Okay? Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Dan moves, Derek seconds. You call the roll, Mr. Clerk?
Farnum,
Yes.
Lorenzen,
Yes.
Luddington,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Brunner,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes.
It does carry. Thank you. Next item is to appoint, well, first of all, we received a letter asking us to appoint some folks to the 708 board. First of all, Helen Zuber is suggested as a member of the 708 board as a citizen, and that would expire on 12/31/2020. Do I hear a motion to appoint Alan Zuber to the 708 board,
Was that his
please?
plan all along to leave us so he can go to the 7?
Right, that's, he was gonna jump ship, he's had this in his plan.
I think the pay's a lot better.
Yeah. Carl moves,
Second.
Derek seconds. Carl moves, Derek seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It does carry.
To clarify, I don't think there's any pay involved, right?
What is the 708 board? I don't know.
That's the mental health,
Okay.
okay? All right, next one may be more puzzling to some of us, but, you know. Oh, I'm sorry, did I say that out loud, Dan?
I can decline that, right?
No. They would like us to appoint Mr. Bruner as our representative from the county board, and I have discussed that with him, and he is willing to serve, and we're willing to respect the wishes of the 708 board. So is there a motion to approve Mr. Bruner becoming our representative to the 708 board?
So moved.
Derek moves, Carl seconds. Assuming you're ready to vote, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. It does carry. Thank you to Mr. Zuber, even though he's not here, and to you, Dan, for your time, and hope you enjoy being on that board and contribute. Next, Derek, would you offer or explain and offer, or offer and explain the resolution for the airport?
Obviously a hitch today, we're tabling it. We're gonna have a meeting of the Airport Zoning Commission on Monday, the 19th at 4 o'clock. Is it in this courtroom?
In this courtroom.
Okay. To officially recognize and pass it up to the board for a vote down the line. Resolution has kind of been discussed as ad nauseum, but basically identifying the airport as a kind of a cornerstone of Edgar County. It's been in place for 40 years, recognized to remain as such for as long as the county exists. Also recognizing the hazard zoning that is in place in order to protect the airport itself and to ensure safety of flight. It lays out the actual administrative code and statutes that are referenced, and then has some details to kind of flesh out and make it easier for the citizens of the county to reference that and to know whether or not they should further their permit process, if you will, as they go to build tall structures within a certain mileage of the airport.
Once we make a motion to table, there's no further discussion. So is there any further discussion? I'd entertain a motion to table, please.
So moved.
Second? Andy seconds. All those in favor of tabling the motion for further action later signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is tabled. Thank you, gentlemen. How are we doing? We are going to have a closed session. How is the state's attorney ready, or do we need to finish the meeting?
He'll be ready.
Okay, that's fine.
When we're ready for him, he'll be ready.
That's fine. I just wanted to accommodate him. Okay, officers and department head reports. Mr. Treasurer.
Thank you, Chairman. You have your report in front of you. Nothing really unusual. I really don't have any comments. I know that's hard to believe, but I will say this. Just before I came over, we're going to get the public defender, state's attorney, and supervisor's assessments reimbursements here by the end of the week. They were
What
scheduled.
about Monty's?
Monty? Oh, I don't
We're
know.
gonna start on you early, Monty.
Which amounts to about 16 grand that will hit our bank account by the end of the week. We've already received income tax that we should have received last month, but it came a week after the end of the month.
As long as we got it.
We got sales tax, personal property replacement tax. Local use is the only one that's pending right now, and I don't know why we wouldn't see that here within the next week or two. Any questions?
On the county's investment policy,
came up during the 911 meeting. Is it the policy of the county to, if you're going to invest money, to stay within institutions that are in Edgar County?
I don't think it states that in there. That's more of a conservative, practical,
Right.
common sense thing. But Carl, since you have brought it up, 911 has a lot of money in CDs.
Correct.
And I also have a drainage district CD that is a significant amount. I have actually gone through the bid process where I ask all the banks within the county to submit a bid of what kind of return they would give on it. And more banks than not do not even give me a bid. They basically are given the option to respectfully decline. Most of them respectfully decline, or in worst cases, they don't even answer me. You've hit a sore spot here. So I was here a year or two ago. Since Newman has 2 banks there, they were interested in collecting tax dollars. And since we lost the Hume Bank up there, I didn't have a place in the northwest part of the county to make it easier for people to pay their taxes. So I jumped at the chance to set up tax accounts there where they could collect. And that's been working fine. And then when I had this need to invest some money in CDs, and my in-county banks were basically being rude. They basically just didn't seem to be interested. I went ahead and went outside the county as the crow flies, less than a mile. But I felt like I was being respectful of it being county money, being at least being used. I promise you, there will never be a time where I go any further than that. Meaning, I won't go across the state line into Dana or anything like that, and I will not go definitely north of I-80. But anyway, that's beside the point. I don't foresee going any further than Newman, and that was push come to shove.
Yeah. Well, it just came up that if it was what the policy was, and if there's any reason that we could maybe go to Springfield or wherever to get better return on our investments, and I told them I would check into it.
I could, but Illinois funds, last I knew, a couple years ago, they even quit sending me the notices, but their rate was, it was the worst I'd seen. The local banks blew them out of the water. So I guess it just boils down to, I just feel comfortable keeping Edgar County money in Edgar County.
I agree.
With Newman as a kicker. So,
Okay.
and the banks are very good about working with us,
Okay. All right.
the ones that do.
David?
I'm excited to say that this past Friday, I got an email, and for the second year in a row, we've received a attendance multiplier 1 for Edgar County. So assessments are in line. Also, we have spent 3 days last week and 3 days this week training on the new tax system, and as we speak, it's going up live for our office to be using. So we're progressing.
Dina, when did you get the tentative one last year? Or
It was more January, I believe, so we're a month earlier.
oh, great.
Okay, any questions of Jan?
Wasn't it less than 1 last year?
No, it was a 1.
Okay.
This is the second year in a row we've been at 1.
Okay, Monty?
Other than my dealing with Springfield and the budget issue, everything's smoothly. Money will be flowing, I'm sure, soon. Otherwise, nothing.
Thank you, Monty. Is your office configuration, everything else working out nice and convenient?
Well, it's very nice configuration, and as soon as they finish the ceiling, I'm sure it will be very delightful in there. And warm.
And, okay. Aaron?
We're ready for weather. We got a little reminder yesterday morning that we need to be. That's about it.
Jill?
We got our 2017 EMPG grant sent in and approved by EMA for fiscal year 2017. And we're starting to plan for our annual exercise.
Okay.
That wins the award for the day for most acronyms in a sentence.
I usually get that.
Yeah. Sheriff?
Have anything at this time?
Janet?
Nothing new at the health department, just we still have flu shots available if anybody's looking.
Okay.
We have a permanent dentist now, correct?
Yes, we do,
Okay.
full-time dentist.
Okay, thank you, Janet. Tom?
Nothing to report.
Angie?
Nothing today.
Okay. Augie?
Well, Dina, you gave my report because I too received an email saying we got 10 multiplier of 1, and we also are receiving training on the new tax system.
So there.
So there. Other than that, I would take this opportunity to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Christmas sucks.
And then,
Don't break that.
oh, good, we've got another Scrooge on.
Jeff, can I make one more comment?
Not to be outdone by Dina or Augie, Don wants one more time.
Jill triggered a thought, and then Derek also. There's an act out there, and I can't, it's grant, it's got a GATA, grant something, Transparency Act.
Right, I'm gonna talk, yeah.
Okay.
No, that's fine, go ahead.
I'm just saying I did the first step yesterday at the encouragement of a lady by the name of Marge at the Illinois Department of Transportation, where I've officially registered the County of Edgar for this act. However, there is some follow-up stuff that needs to be done, and I've included August in the emails. You have to do a annual something, questionnaire or something, but they are really pushing this so that everybody that does grants, which would be Jill, County
Janet.
Highway, Janet, that they stay on top of things, and if one is lax or slipshod in some of their paperwork, it could reflect on other departments getting their money. So it's like holding everybody accountable and being a team player and making sure everything follows through. So now, thank you for reminding me of that, Derek and Jill.
Yes, go ahead.
Well, Don, I received a phone call from Marge this morning confirming or thanking me for registering the county because my name is on the document. Thank you, Donald, for taking care of me.
I gave you an email. I warned you with an email yesterday that you'd probably be getting.
Don't like to do that, but it does, right while we're talking about it, we are gonna have a committee or a department head elected officials meeting on this issue shortly, so that everybody's introduced to this. It has to do with, what's the number that you have to come up with besides the EIN number? Dunn's number. We gotta have all that. We gotta work together. It is a serious deal. If somebody, one of you in one of the departments forgets to turn something in and they've been begging you, everybody's money gets held up, okay? So, yes, Janet?
Jeff, I actually have been working on this for before the, I swear to goodness, it was.
The committee
the
chairman.
Fiscal year.
June 28th.
Yeah, and actually, I've already, everything's turned in. It was my understanding that even though we do share the same FEIN, that, they would look at us, we are still looked at separately.
We
So-
need to make that decision,
Yeah.
okay? And that hasn't officially been discussed by us, meaning you and Aaron and all of the department heads, and then a recommendation to the board on how we're gonna be looked at, okay? So, that's why we need everybody's input, correct? So, and it may well work out that way. I'm glad to hear your work, but we don't want to affect you and vice versa and all that. We want to have a positive effect on everybody involved. So we hope that everybody can get together So the clerk needs to set up a date that's convenient, that we can get everybody together. And that would be, also involve the, where I can't find it, the office committees. Farnham, Ludington, and Chittick need to be involved, so they understand, and so everybody's on board, okay? Is that all right, Janet?
When's the next,
Department head
yeah,
meeting, we don't have one scheduled yet.
so the first part of January, we need to maybe.
We'll make one anytime
and
we
then
need to make one.
Everybody can be there and we can
Right.
discuss it then.
You guys carry the ball and make sure everybody gets their say, and we get a path forward, so we're doing the right thing and acting as a team, or however we're supposed to do it, okay? All right, all the department heads and elected officials were done. I didn't miss any, were you done?
Yes.
Okay. Don, were you done? Okay.
Well, you silenced me by hitting.
Yeah,
That's
beat on the desk.
Oh, now I'm gonna, your feelings were hurt. I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
Dan?
Nothing to report. Basically, I made the weekly trip to animal shelter, so everything's fine out there. Still have a lot of pit bulls. Anybody needs a present for Christmas, and I want to adopt a pit bull and give it to somebody. Surprise. Other than that, everything's fine.
Andy?
Other than the lights in the courtroom.
Sounds like there might be something you want to attend to in probation too.
No, nothing
Okay.
at this point.
Okay, Carl?
The safety, I'm not sure what it's called, that safety grant we get every year, did we get that this year?
Yes,
You know,
there's
roughly
7,800.
8,000.
Yeah.
8,000.
Right
We
at
haven't
eight.
had any discussion on how we're gonna do, what we're gonna do with it yet.
That's
have we?
again,
The-
office holders committee, yeah, I think you could,
The
or the
la-
building committee.
Building, yeah.
Excuse
okay.
me.
Go ahead.
No, I didn't want to interrupt you.
Oh, no.
The
that's
last
fine.
that I was involved in a conversation with Bob, he was supposed to get a quote on either repairing the basement doors or getting 2 brand-new doors, because that thing's out of square
Right.
to make it work right. And so we did get the grant for last year. I applied for the grant for this year, similar money, 7,000, and I basically said that the project was bigger and more expensive than we thought, and they awarded us the money to go ahead and apply that to that project. So I think we have the resources to get it fixed. I don't know where Bob is on it though.
Okay. And I know I talked to him this summer, and he was supposed to get some new hinges, and he told me he got them, and I haven't ever heard back. So we'll do follow-up on it.
Janet, how's your door working?
Great, absolutely.
And ours is working great too, so it was a good investment, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
I do have one more thing.
Go.
Since I mentioned Bob, I want to give him kudos for what he's doing with the handrail or the banister going up the stairs to the second floor. He's taken those down, cleaned them, stripped them. He's restoring them back to original woodwork, and they look beautiful. So I just want to give a shout out to Bob.
Nice, glad you did. Okay. Carl, do you have anything else?
No.
Okay. Yes, Dan?
I noticed you're on the ESDA committee. They still have a problem with the door out there, do you know?
Yes, we're,
We had the lady from Red Cross come out this morning, we couldn't even get the door open.
Do what?
We said we had the lady from Red Cross come out this morning, and we couldn't even get the front door open.
Yeah, that's all.
It's AFU,
What's it?
the door.
we do need the building committee to deal with those couple of issues out there, okay? So,
I had someone that's supposed to look at it.
He came out,
Did it come?
well, he did come out, like, well, he was finishing up some work on the courthouse, and he said he would contact me and come back out, and he never has.
so we
That was
need
probably
to,
like at least
I'll get back on
1 or 2 months ago, maybe, I don't know.
okay, yeah, because it's been that long since we met and talked about it. It was in late September, early October, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Derek?
Tom, what's the status of the beacon? Where are
We
we at?
have 2 bids, we're awaiting the third before we can proceed.
Okay, so the state was easy to work with on all those issues?
Absolutely.
Okay, sweet. I don't really have anything.
Okay. I did, through Don, provide you with a updated budget from the one you got on Monday. Should have everything in there. Obviously, it does not have the last batch in for demand checks or the final payroll of the month, but everything's reflected in there so far. Okay? Except for the a little bit of income we got coming in. What'd you say, it was about 16?
16 local use, and we've got the county clerk's fees that haven't hit yet, but we've got those, we need to receipt those in.
Okay, so onward and upward.
When will the next payroll be?
A week from this Friday is when it hits. And,
So there's just one more payroll this
right.
month.
Yes.
And one other comment, our parking lot behind the annex is beautiful. Very pleased with it, and I thank everybody involved.
Okay. All right, we need a motion to enter into executive session or closed session for the purposes of personnel,
Pending litigation.
pending litigation, and negotiations
Of real estate.
of real estate, yes. Can I have a motion that reflects those items, please? Andy does, reflects, and Derek seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. We will take a brief 5-minute recess. Sheriff, we need you to hang around for part of it, but not all of it. Thank you.
You might announce that we're back in or open session.
We are now back in open session. Is there anything else to come before the meeting today? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. So moved by Andy,
Second.
seconded by Derek. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. We are adjourned.